Hey guys, I'm with Erica right now. I just met, and she is a wonderful lady. I've been talking to her for about a half an hour, 45 minutes now, and I just wanted you to hear her story and what the homeless people can hear or what they need in Tucson and in other cities too. So I'd like you to meet her. Let me flip this. Here.
Hello, hi Pat.
Hey, how you
Thank you.
doing?
I've been really enjoying talking with you too. The wind is.
Oh, don't even worry about it.
But I was really touched by your thoughts and kindness towards our situation for working to equip the homeless with bicycles here in the Tucson area, because we're a very bicycle thriving area and stuff, and it does hold a lot of the keys to sufficiency, is being able to be mobilized, and get to places you need to. And Tucson is a very poor community. There's pockets of plenty of folks who are doing fine, and even amongst the homeless, I know some, who make, money that's sufficient, to, without a lot of bills and things, like, and they're comfortable enough. But there's an awful lot of us as well that survive month to month to year on exceptionally little actual discretionary cash and stuff like that. And there's beautiful programs for eating. We have some of the best dressed homeless in America.
Look at her.
I'm always so thankful for donations, especially women's clothing donations are routinely very, very good here in Tucson. If you go to St. Vincent de Paul's, you can see the startling contrast. It's very difficult for men out here. They'll end up having to wear, like men's jeans and stuff like that, because they're donated at such a higher percentage and stuff. But it's hard to get men's clothes or men's work clothes out here for the homeless. St. Vincent de Paul is a little thrift store down on 6th Avenue and 18th Street, and they have a voucher room now that they've added in the last year and a half,
Okay.
so that we who don't have spending power and such women are allowed to go and pick up 3 outfits each week, which is 3 times as much as we have ability in stock for men and stuff like that. And the men's section is quite small. Go check it out, show folks around and stuff. And I'm not dogging anybody on it, because it's still very helpful and necessary and stuff like that. Also, like we were briefly pre-talking earlier, socks, underwear, things like that, consumable things,
Sunscreen,
especially
you
in
said,
the
right?
hot water and hot weather.
Sunscreen?
I think I'm already I don't think I'm doomed on that one. I get sunscreen. Check this out. Like Stone Park, a lot of very beautiful people come through there. Santa Rita Park, even more. Santa Rita's a very homeless, but like, I get nostalgic about it, because there's been people who have been very kind to me there, and it takes me back, and I have warm memories towards them. But those are 2 of the larger homeless contingent parks in the vicinity. And some of the churches in their outreach, and even some children, that's what's really touching, is a lot of times you'll see a kid or 2 come around with a parent, which is just good safety and stuff, and they'll either deliver water and maybe a piece of pizza or something like that, which is awesome, and I always look forward to those type of interactions.
What can you guys use in an
But
everyday life situation?
sometimes the churches, they make up these beautiful like hygiene packs and stuff, like in the gallon Ziplocs, and they really give us, like the non-smelly resources that keep packing
Hygiene
over and stuff.
and feminine products.
Yep. But in any of those sort of things, they're pretty good on keeping in sunscreen, even though it's pretty expensive to buy, for churches and stuff like that. It's kind of a high investment. I spent the entire, here's this good story I haven't shared with you. Last summer, oh my gosh, was it hot last summer. This one's just warming up. But last summer, oh gee, I was outside through all of it. Like all of it. Like maybe missed like 3 hours out of the whole summer, like inside somewhere, like in convenience shops and stuff. And I was caregiving for a veteran friend of mine, Hammer, who was a good man and stuff like that. He was in during the Vietnam War. He was commanded troops and stuff. He was a little older than a lot of the folks. And at the time when I was caregiving for him last summer, he'd had 3 strokes already. And oh boy, we sweated. It was warm. It was warm. But that's when I put the price of gold up as measured in mosquito repellent and such, because it'll
Well, that was what you said, mosquito repellent, not sunscreen.
Mosquito repellent. I would love to see some of these, and I appreciate anything. Like, unfortunately, I have very little resources to be able to provide for myself, afford things, and like, we try and share out whatever we can amongst and stuff. But sunscreen, a lot of folks have taken care of, and I'm thankful for it. You know, nobody wants melanoma and stuff, but if they can mix it up even 1 in 5 packs or so about, you know, with a little thing as a off spray or cutter or any such, you know.
What else was it that you were telling me you guys need?
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes, okay.
Are great, you know, and stuff
Neo,
like that.
Gatorade, stuff
Gatorade,
like
Neo, any of those, generic, anything and stuff like that. They prevent a lot of catastrophe and stuff like that, you know, because the sun will take it out. Oh, so I was coming back to Hammer for just a second. So we were camping, we would camp behind a local business at night, and then when they were open, we'd go across into the park, you know. So we didn't have a very huge range that we had to cover, but he was very mobility impaired at the time. Sometimes if he was tired, I would have to push him on his wheeled walker and stuff, which was really rickety and things like that. But we had a lot of fun too. But oh my gosh, we'd sit there in the park and stuff, and, you know, talk and, you know, share stories and eat and little things like that. But the ants would get on us, and it was an uphill battle all the time, because, you know, wherever we the biting ants, and the biting ants are pretty good this year too. We just haven't had too much. But the mosquito repellent will help keep all of that off you. Just
wasn't there some other things you said?
Mosquito repellent, electrolyte, additive for water. Both are really so helpful in the summertime. And my friend counterpart there, he suggested, especially during monsoon times right now and stuff, little cheap radios, simple little things like
weather
battery
radios
type things. Batteries are always also at need or loss, you know, and
because they can be very expensive too.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're always going to run down and little things like that.
Now you were telling me your story.
I would love to see solar recharging for like AAAAs if I could keep anyone from stealing it from me out here.
Yeah, because your phone just got stolen. I'm very sorry about that. But you also were telling me a little bit about your story and your ambitions. Can you tell them about that?
Oh yeah, I've been out here for quite a little while now. Boy, I'd love one. Why, thank you, Paula. But I've been out here for a while, and it's been it's been odd, you know, and stuff. I'm still the same person. I'm very much the same person when I'm inside, when I can shower, when I have food to share, when I'm hungry. You know, I'm still Erica, hands down, and stuff like that. And I don't apologize for it, because I put a lot of care into what I bring to the world and stuff like that, you know, and I feel it precludes the need for a lot of apologies. Sometimes my things work out better or worse, you know, and sometimes, you know, like, I give things a heck of a try and still get handed my butt, you know. That happens to all of us, you know, and things. But yeah, I'm a credentialed teacher out in Cali. I had finished my I have my Human Services Associates. I tested out of most of that with CLAP. I was lucky. I was a smart one.
You guys have letters?
No. Franklin took it with him. We have matches somewhere though. But now I went on. I got my I got my bachelor's in psychology. The Quakers came through and they helped me with some beautiful scholarships and stuff. I have those, and I credentialed up as a teacher in Cali. And I'd say that, hey baby, if there's one thing that I kind of feel a little lame about, you know, and stuff sometimes, it's that I've been out here, you know, and it's not hard. It's survival stuff, you know, and things like that, you know, day to day to day. But I expect more from myself than just survival, you know. That's survival's when you're in hang time, just to get the chances to do something that's a little bit more, you know, and stuff like that. We all get holding patterns a little sometimes. Some of us get stuck for a while longer. But I do feel guilty, because I feel like there's kids out there, you know, that maybe aren't talking, and I do early intervention for kids with autism. And I love it. And I used to be very good at it and stuff. I think I'd probably still be pretty good. I am knowledgeable in my field. I've kept up reading and stuff, even though as I've been unemployed out here.
But you're still looking for jobs, you said.
Oh, it has been very hard.
And you're one of the
few
out here that's been. And you also said you're one of the few that's staying off all the drugs too. So, which I have a lot of respect for.
Thank you.
So.
I was raised with a lot of standards. My dad was a Korea War veteran. He was an Army Ranger and stuff, and hands down, he was my blessing. Like, if you're dealt one real good friend to rely on in this lifetime, consider yourself to be just really blessed, you know, and stuff, because there's so many folks who struggle with trust, struggle with a lot of things because, you know, they don't even have that as a given. But I was very blessed. My dad was in my corner from the start, and that was my boy. And he taught me, raised me, and taught me, you know, standards. He said, look, you know, like, poor comes, poor goes, you know. Poor is, you know, it can happen to anybody, you know, for at least a while and such. He's like, but it's, you define yourself and your own parameters, you know, and stuff. You say, you know, this is what I will or I won't do, you know, like either to survive or to change things up and get into a new space and stuff like that.
And you also said you have a faith in God, right?
My dad was a farmer. I was raised doing farm work. I did haying and stuff as a youngster. So I'm like, really, compared to a lot of folks and stuff, I'm not at all afraid of hard work, you know, and I really enjoy it. It's a little harder when you live outdoors in the elements. It does weaken you some and such, but I still can definitely, like, I can put in a day's labor, and I seek to regularly. And I face a gender backlash that usually I might go, oh, poor thing, you know, and not that I would per se towards folks, but, you know, I can see where they come from. But it's really difficult to get folks to give you an opportunity for basic work and stuff like that. As a woman, they think that you'll either wear out too quickly,
Or you're
you know,
automatically a drug addict, or...
Yeah, that's the label onto all the homeless and such like that. And it, of course, it limits opportunity. And there is a very high rate of drug abuse out here and stuff like that. You know, if I had children in a home in normal circumstances, you would be right to have reservations or skepticisms towards anyone that you bring into life near your children. You know, that's got to stay your power and stuff like that. You know, you need to check your criminal check everybody, you know, things like that. You know, you need to keep an eye on the safety for your family. That's very important. And that's a lot of the work that I do in my general professional life and stuff like that, is caring for children, teaching children, teaching speech, you know, remediation and such, you know, in my case with autistic kids.
And you said that's what you'd like to get back into?
Mm-hmm. I don't have any felonies or anything like that, and
she said she's going to get an apartment within the next couple months. God bless her. I'm so happy
I've been
for
out
her.
here for a little over 2 years and stuff, and it's been, they tell you, some folks, you know, some folks anywhere are going to be, you know, harsh critics, of course, but folks will say, you know, like, and as part of the reason why I don't, if I have to panhandle or something, like, I can, I'm not very good at it, you know, but like, it's a last ditch, you know, like, because I'm not going to break into somebody's house and take things that are theirs, because that's theirs, you know, and stuff like that. I can appeal to their charity, you know, if I have to. But really, I seek to, you know, work hard, play hard, you know, and stuff like that. You know, it's a more affirming, you know, solution and things like that. I've been really bummed because I really wanted to work and stuff like that, basic farm work and stuff like I've done before, and it's very hard to get simple opportunities and stuff like that. It's very hard also here, we didn't talk on this one. I've told them that on the streets meeting I was telling you about, the third Saturdays 3 to 4 at the local downtown library. It's a great place for other homeless individuals to come from the vicinity to come and advocate and work collectively and things. Kind of like in Atlanta we have the Homeless Persons Union. I started out with homeless outreach when I was a freshman long ago and stuff in college and stuff down there. That's a beautiful system. Open door. That's Lauren, yay! And stuff, and they actually have a union where they like work together as a mass to improve conditions for the very poor in Atlanta and contain against, you know, police brutalities and things like that. And it's a this is a long time ago since I've been down there, but it's a very, very good one.
How long have you been homeless?
2 years.
2 years? Has it been a rough 2 years? Or have you felt blessed in a lot of ways too?
I call it, a lot of it hasn't been, I'm outdoorsy, I guess. That worse than even. There's a lot of little things that you would never have a way to really predict until you're like, oh wow, okay, Erica, so what you gonna do? I call it like, cause I've been doing outreach and stuff to folks. So like I've known folks. I've been out here, you know, like
You grew up religious,
doing
right?
my thing, trying to help out, you know, and stuff for a long, long time. I grew up. Both my parents were employed and stuff like that. They were divorced when I was little and such. But I had, you know, like my basic needs and stuff like that. All right, you know. My dad was my best friend. That's always the biggest blessing.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this right now? Where was I just going with it? Darn it. Oh, what I hadn't told you yet about. Ask me the question again.
Which one?
The last one that I just like.
Oh, I was asking if your parents were religious.
Oh, I was a Sunday school teacher for the Methodists for a while when I was in high school. So I was a Girl Scout leader too.
And also your previous career before you became homeless and.
Oh yes, how long I've been homeless out here and things like that, and a little over 2 years now. Yep. I'm still the same
was
person.
it tough? Is what I had asked you.
Oh, thank you. That's right. And those pocket opportunities that kind of cheer you up, and you can have. I encourage folks. You know, when I was a youngster, I think that the homeless, how, are kind of fascinating, especially to children, because we're outside of the loop of the day-to-day thinking in the box, you know, like wake up, go to work, have a car, you know, like we look quite different. I think that's part of what intrigues little children, you know, about us, you know, and obviously it's always most important, maintain safety for your children, you know, and stuff like that, you know, anywhere you go, but not so safe that, you know, they need to continue on towards striving to live in safety, because as a grown-up, it's one of the great rights and gifts that you get is to manage that for yourself and be able to be out in amongst
And then
them.
also we were hitting on the
But
bike.
I think that homeless people are very interesting to children. I was interested in homeless folks. I remember when I was a child and stuff. I've seen things about it, little documentary type things too. There's a lot of reasons for that. But I'm always happy when children come and they bring us packets and they're supervised by their parents and stuff like that. I was going somewhere with this. Let me see. Oh, so I think that you can really have quality interactions and get to know us and stuff like that from a position of not needing to have lost it has made me, and I've fought it hard, but it's made me some bitter, some more exhausted on a lot of days, you know, because it's like I've been in good camps. I've been in some unaffirming, systemically violent kind of camps. I've been through Tucson now for a while and such. I've camped alone. I've camped, you know, but it's like you can get a good flavor for it just getting to know a good bunch of us and stuff like that. You don't really have to lose everything and be at rock bottom out here and stuff like that. Like you can still have some very good times, be more prepared for like how to live on a small budget and things, which are very helpful things that we contribute, you know, knowledge-wise and things.
And you had also said that
But,
bikes were important.
Yep. Let me see. I'm getting right there. There's things that I call, when I had a place, I used to call them field trips. I used to have a home and I brought in folks from the street. That's, in this case today, that's what landed me here. Thank you, TPD. Suck eggs. They came after me. They kept kicking in my doors. They kept saying, we just know that you're, and I was like, well, show me, because I'm still confused on why you're here in my living room again, you know? It's like, and I can't play entirely green. I had some accountability and some role in it, you know? I don't sell drugs to anybody. I don't go out. I don't involve myself in violences and things like that, you know? I brought people in because like I could see need all around me, kind of like the Buddha, you know, and stuff when he left from his palace and all over people were starving, and I said, geez, I've got extra rooms, you know, I've got a big fridge, you know, like I don't feel comfortable, you know, living a comfortable life just with my dog and stuff like that yet, you know, while there's so much all around me. And so I started bringing folks in and started ticking off the systems that be, and they actually, to the extent they came after me, plain clothes, and we're going to take your house, Erica. Nobody's going to care, Erica. I was like, really? Have a nice day, sir. You know?
Oh, I care, Erica. I
Thank
really
you
do.
so much.
I care about you.
I tried.
I told you I'm gonna come over here
be
and I'm gonna be
helpful
making.
and things like
I'm gonna be
that,
coming
and,
by and making sure that you're okay. So
Mhm.
as long as you're over here.
Let me see here. I'm on Facebook too. That'll be the easiest way to because I don't have a phone yet and stuff, but I can use Wi-Fi public libraries and stuff like that.
Okay.
I hope to soon, someday.
Oh, nice.
Soon. But we're talking about so I started off, and I wanted to give you the background on some of these tangents. Oh, so when I had a home, and I'd bring folks in, this is just a little Erica vernacular in case I pop off and I get a little side blog with you or something, right?
Hey, we all do
I
it.
used to call it field trips, probably because I come from an educational background and stuff, and so it was routine in my house. It was a 3-bedroom little home up in urban Tucson, and I would say, you know what, we've been doing the same thing, fun or not fun, whatever it is, and stuff. I think we're ready for another field trip, I think we should go check out this or that, and to the extent that I had some ends back then, we'd make that happen. It's fun to do field trips in your own home community, so when relatives visit from out of state or something, you have an idea too what's going on around you. Field trips is one of my vernaculars that I'll use, for little fun experiences, excursions and stuff. Out here, because poverty is less fun when you wake up to it every day, especially when basic items that you need, that everybody in your campsite knew that you needed, to like get to work this week, like your bus pass, your boots, little things like that, and you wake up and again they're nowhere, and you're like, I was asleep, they were just right here in like range and stuff, and nobody saw anything, It's a great discouragement because it's very hard to remain organized and centered and rested and nutrified enough, to access, basic conditions, that can bring you up from conditions of homelessness and things like that. And I've been very frustrated on that sometimes. But the counter to field trips that I've coined is bad days in homeless land, tough days in homeless land. And I'd say across the 2 years I've had about 8.
I'll see y'all later.
8. See you later, man.
Nice to meet
Have
you.
a good one, man.
It was really nice meeting you
God
too.
bless,
Bye,
Casey.
sweetheart. Love you. I'm glad the shoes fit.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Whoop.
I got some shoes for you too.
Thank you.
I got some shoes for you. I just
So I have some of these, I've called them bad days in homeless land, and they happen everywhere. They happen in middle class America and stuff.
How you like your shoes?
Yours?
Huh? Really?
We've got lots of matches. She's got matches up there, I
The
think.
black guy.
Could I possibly have a smoke on?
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Have
try
a
not.
light.
That's the other great electrolytes and
And
bugger
cigarettes.
bites.
That's why I brought them, was for you guys.
Aw, thank you so much.
Because I know that that's something else, even though it's not healthy. I know that's something you need to crush for you
It
guys.
staves off hunger, which helps as well. I knew that before I was homeless. It wasn't one of my new revelations out here. And it's challenging. Anytime you're trying to mobilize and activate, collectivize the very poor in a wealthy nation on their own behalf, you're gonna run into some frustration, some brick walls you bang your head into and stuff. And I'm ready for a lot of that and stuff. It's like I've had a burning about a lot of things for a long time. I was a member of Occupy. I still think that Occupy was a fascinating movement, and it's still alive in small form here in Tucson. Get the Peace Calendar, Tucson Peace Calendar. I haven't seen it at the local libraries as much. It's a print bulletin, and it lists off a lot of things. It lists off Good Samaritan meetings. I used to volunteer with No More Deaths, Good Samaritans, Humane Borders. Some back when I had a home and stuff, I'd go out and ride out in the trucks. We have water trucks, and we fill out in the middle of the desert, like 30-gallon drums and stuff, so that if folks can get to one of the little flagged stations and stuff, they won't crispy critter quite so badly, because it's lethal out there. In No More Deaths, they got No Más Muertes got their name because they said death need not be a deterrent to necessary or any type of immigration and stuff like that. It's a very painful, awful death process. I recommend to folks, without reservation, one of the best written books I've ever seen is The Devil's Highway by Urrea, U-R-R-E-A. His first name will come to me later. He's a very established, excellent writer, Chicano. He collaborated with folks in the agencies to write the book and stuff. Tremendously, seamlessly well written about the stories of the lives of the people who started out, as well as the maps and the terrible conditions, and just what it really very unfortunately looks, feels like to pass away from hyperthermia. This first group of them was found on May 23rd, I think it was 2001. The first one made it out into traffic, but in the end, a little over half of them had died. They were a large group of like 24 individuals who came up with one of the dumbest coyotes of all time and 2 helpers and such up in the West Desert, west of Tucson, and got all spun out. Migration caught up with them like second day, spun them in every direction and stuff. They had a hard time getting back together. But the death equations for that group was very, very sad, and the consequences were dire and stuff. And we have some great migrant groups out here. I used to volunteer with them. I'm getting side. See, that's why I said you gotta have a couple questions.
Well, I'm gonna add
you
that.
just ask me and help me stay focused a little bit. But
But yeah,
I
no,
like to volunteer.
but we were talking about the bike thing originally. I think that's one of the main things I was hitting on too, because that's something I wanted to do was to help you guys be able to have some transportation. What's your thought on that?
I'm an editing nightmare, babe.
Oh no, I got people.
I'm so good.
But the whole
I don't mind
bike
redoing
thing.
this. The bike thing, I think that here's another one from America, like Bad Adventures in Homeless Land, the update to field trips and stuff. But here's another one that I'd phrased it exactly like this long ago. I said, when you've lost a lot of things, you know, bicycles are great for so many. They get you places and services and opportunities that are necessary. Which certainly helps. Big ups. You can carry more groceries and things like that, home or anywhere else. But in my case, I'd had so many bikes stolen when I had my house and stuff, and my conditions had been worsening and stuff. And I took in a lot of high-risk individuals, and some of them went on to not be able to change ways, you know, like out here in the street. It's necessary for most folks to remain somewhat hard, very guarded, you know, things that they need. And I'd asked them, I said, look, you know, we have a little bit more flexibility, you know, you don't have to, you know, stay as jumpy, you know, towards everybody in the house here and stuff. But as it was, I still ended up with a great many things getting stolen and moved around. It's the realities of life and stuff. But so I'd get a bike. This is after my car had been stolen by local thugs, and eventually my truck was taken by the police in the last raid, even though it was very poor, not even runnable condition, you know, it had serious rusted things and this and that. But I would tell my ex, and he wasn't my ex at the time yet and stuff, I was like, please, you know, I know you've got some problems and things, baby, I pray for you all the time, you know, I'm here, you know, we've been working through this thing it's been hard, it was really hard times and stuff like that. I said, but I used to call it a human rights issue. A bicycle is like a human rights issue because it gives you one of those major keys of things, whether it's a little bit of space and quiet to be able to think and settle your head, you know, along with the nice movement of air and, you know, ideas around you and stuff, but it allows you to access new experiences and places.
Good.
Stay blessed.
God bless you, man.
And but it also prevents hostilities from escalating and stuff like that. Like, one of the things that's very hard, I wouldn't have expected out here in homeless land, is when you have a relationship with somebody. Middle class America is very behind closed doors. That's been the motto about a lot of things for a long time and such. But say I have an argument with my man and stuff like that. Well, there's something that's been chafing me, you know, day to day. It's been building, you know, and like in a home, we might have had the space to be able to sit down, you know, at our sofa and, you know, eat some cheese and address this, you know, as reasonable, you know, grown-ups who care about one another. Out here, every single thing that I do is public. It's beyond public docket. It's maybe not supervised, but overheard, you know, by folks who do or don't pay. But it's like there's no space to decompress with a family member or loved one, or just address an issue that needs to be corrected through and such with privacy, because where, and part of that is my own fault. You know, I have sought to only access services and places that are available to all, you know, and stuff like that. I'm not a couch surfer and stuff like that. I'm your outdoorsy homeless, you know.
Yeah.
And that's another good conversation we're gonna have on a different day, because I've really thought, meditated, written on it at length when I've stayed in shelters and out here and stuff. The gradations and expectations even amongst ourselves towards one another of the homeless within this city are very wide. It's the broad categories and such, like and I've done a lot of the various program things. I've been in shelters, I've been in bridges, I've been in brickyards, I've been behind and so I'm familiar with a lot of places where people that you meet when you're walking down the street and stuff, but really there's homeless who are able to meet their needs, who have, you know, basic things, who have a parent or something, you know, who just can't maybe house them right now due to a difficulty that, as they interpret it, you know, but still will back them, you know, and stuff, or God forbid, provide bail money if they were to end up in a serious these sort of things. And as an orphan now and a grown woman, you know, and stuff like that, you know, I hadn't expected things to go quite as expensively in my life as they have sometimes. I have one brother here locally who's judgmental, whatever. He believes some of the hype about whatever it is, you know. Love you, Adam, you know, you try and with what you can, you know, and stuff. But there's the gradations amongst the homeless are far from subtle, and some of us are rather average-looking folks, you know, who have only been out of work for a little while, and some of us are very long-term. By very long-term, I know homeless who've been at this thing for like 25 years. They've been out here camping and stuff. I think it's a vulnerability in that case for veterans also, who are very good campers. And Indios. I camped with a lot of Native Americans and stuff.
Nice.
Very good people out here.
So yeah, I think we'll wrap this up, but I really appreciate you giving us our
So
testimony.
one of these days we're
thing.
going to talk about the levels in the when you go into shelters and such. I used to tease Bill Finch. Hi Bill, I love you. I love the Salvation Army. You guys are great. I have a good time over there. The food is awesome and stuff. But I tell him, I say, I'm back, Bill. It's me, one of your most homeless. Because I get feeling that way sometimes, you know. I don't hustle anybody. I don't, you know, try and sell anything, you know, illegitimately or that sort of. I don't come up off anyone else's sufferings and stuff, but I don't come up. But there's expectations amongst even not as much how one became homeless, but how one lives through. It'll be a very good conversation coming up.
Well, like I said though, Erica, I really believe that with your ambitions and your drive and wanting to do something more with yourself, you have a lot of potential and you will make it. Especially with you not using the drug use, because the thing is that's what holds a lot of homeless people back is the drug use and using the black and the heroin and the meth and all that different stuff. That's where you're at. That's where you're one step ahead, and God will always take care of you. He will always watch out for you as long as you seek Him. You have faith in Him, and that you trust that He's going to take care of you and show you where the path that He has for you. And I really
we can hold
strongly
this
believe
expectation. Whether we're poor, whether we're doing all right, you know, I'd say the Bible even slightly has a nice preference slightly on our behalf, you know, the camel.
He says
and,
take care of the homeless.
And things, you know. Yeah, I try without being, you know, like, not overly, I try to suggest to folks that it's certainly a kindness sometimes, you know, I try not, and it's a hard adjustment, I'll warn you on that. Hopefully you're going to continue to do well, you know, you're a very bright young man with a lot of heart.
I really appreciate that.
And I really appreciate you coming and knowing us and investing the time and stuff.
Well, you guys are humans, and you are just as important as we are. Money doesn't.
Everyone has a piece of the.
I'll tell you something, Erica. Money doesn't define you as a person.
Nope.
Your personality, your drive, your smart decisions, and wanting to do something, and your faith in God is what makes a person who they are. And
God will see you through. Good parenting helps a lot too, you know. I have my dad to fall back on, and he really raised me up with, you know, like a knowledge of myself and what's okay for Erica to be in the mix of and what's not Erica, you know, and I've known that and haven't wavered from it, you know, because I'm still Erica, you know.
Well, we all have our struggles, we all have our temptations, and we all have our everything in life. But the thing is, though, is that's what's gotten me through in life is my faith in God. And like I told you before, He always takes care of me in community. And I'm here talking to you is because you're just like me. You are just like me, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you giving the time to make this video for everybody, and I know it might be not the easiest thing for you to do, and
Oh, I write a lot.
well, you should
I try
write a
to
book.
center my head, you know, because like I've been out here long enough that it's taken on the time frame of a number of jobs that I've had in the past and stuff, and so I say, well, I might not be resume-ish, you know, but like I reflect regularly on what I've learned, you know, what I can help others to understand so that they can have compassion and also be as helpful. And maybe that's what started God, and that's what started you towards here for our talk today.
Well, I came over here because God
you
told
know.
me I needed to come out here today for you guys, and I knew that there was a reason I was coming, and now I have realized why I came, and it was for you.
Thank you.
And I really hope that you have been blessed by this, and it's not by me, but it's by God. God's speaking
Oh
through me.
yeah, all good things come through
This
God.
isn't me. This is me. This is God speaking through me, and
Make
I want
me
you to know
an
that.
instrument of your peace.
Yeah. See, you know. And
Yeah.
I, like I said, I will
Systemic
be.
violence, some of the rigors of poverty as they contain and entrap folks into conditions. Entrap is a tough word, but I can use it because I've fought to work, you know, and stuff out here, and really just had so many difficulties getting a foothold without a workable residence and stuff like that. So it is kind of entrapping poverty more than I would have expected even and stuff like that. But
Yeah. So, I really would appreciate. Give me a hug.
mm,
And I really love you, and I will
love
be.
you
I
too,
will
man.
be. I will be coming back to talk to you.
great.
And I really appreciate you opening up and telling your story to these people. And
Any questions that you have and stuff, I can like.
I'll have.
I'll go out and get information from other folks, you know, because I talk a lot with folks, you know, like
Hey,
I've just been
I'll
out
even
here.
put it out there. If people have questions, I'll write them down,
Hit
and
me
I
up.
will come and make a video for them.
Awesome.
So
Great.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's
It
wonderful.
was really nice talking to you, Erica, and I
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
everything that you're doing to make the homeless community better, because I think that you're
Thank
not.
you.
I think that you're making an impact in this homeless community.
Thank you.
You are,
And
because
I
you have a
do think that
positive
we have
attitude.
something to contribute, you know, like we certainly have our challenges. We're not the easiest folks to love, or the thing that bothers me is that I've become more flaky sometimes since because I don't have a phone that I can be reached at. I used to be like on point, reliable. I'd give folks rides, you know, to court, you know, if somebody had to go to the hospital, I'd sit there with them in the yard, like little things, because like your time is what you make of your time, you know, and stuff. And if you keep your priorities towards, you know, like I'm a very collective person, you know, very pro community and stuff, you know, so you got to put into that, you know, and stuff like that. And
Well, you're making the homeless community a better place, and you have a very good attitude for the situation you're in, and I think that God really honors that.
thank you.
So
Thank you
I
very,
really
very
appreciate it, and we're gonna try to get you some help. All right?
Thank you, love.
All right. I really appreciate it. All right.
You're awesome, Pat.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Hey guys, Erica's an awesome person, and I really look forward to getting to know her.